I was holding a stranger's hand when he died on October 14, 1983. 51 years old, marathon runner, nothing but vegetables and fish, resting heart rate of 52, elite athlete numbers. He was in better shape than me, and I was a paramedic who worked out daily. The call came at 6:47 a.m., male, unresponsive, not breathing. His wife met us at the door of their Grosse Pointe home, still in her bathrobe, screaming. He'd just finished his morning run. He was fine. This couldn't be happening. Kitchen floor, no pulse, not breathing. We started CPR immediately, shocked him 4 times, pushed every drug in our kit, worked on him for 32 minutes. He never came back. The autopsy revealed a 95% blockage in his left anterior descending artery, the widowmaker. It had been growing for probably 20 years. No symptoms, none. He ran 6 miles that morning and felt great. Then he walked into his kitchen for a glass of water and his heart just stopped. I've carried that memory for over 40 years, and I'm going to tell you exactly what I learned across for decades of watching people die so you don't become one of them. 41 years as a Detroit paramedic, over 12,000 emergency calls, car accidents, shootings, overdoses, fires, but the calls that haunted me, the ones that woke me at AM years after I retired. The heart attacks, specifically, the heart attacks in people who shouldn't have had heart attacks. The runners, the swimmers, the gym regulars, the yoga practitioners who ate organic and never touched cigarettes, people who did everything right and still ended up on my stretcher, eyes rolled back, families screaming. I watched hundreds of them die. What haunted me wasn't the dying. You get used to death in this job. What haunted me was the pattern, the same story over and over. He was so healthy. She was in such good shape. He just had a checkup. Everything was fine. She ran a 10,000 last month. None of it mattered. They were dead anyway. I couldn't understand why until I started learning what was actually happening inside their bodies. What I learned changed everything. It probably saved my life. It might save yours if you pay attention. Your heart doesn't care how fast you run. Your heart doesn't care how many vegetables you eat. Your heart doesn't care about your cholesterol numbers. Your heart cares about one thing: is blood getting through? You can have arteries 90% blocked and feel absolutely fine. Your body is incredibly good at adapting, keeping blood flowing right up until the moment it can't anymore. And when it stops fast. Sometimes you get warnings: chest pain, shortness of breath, arm tingling. Sometimes you get nothing, you just drop. For half of all men and almost 2/3 of women, the very first symptom of heart disease is death. Not pain, not discomfort, death. That's not a statistic from a textbook. That's what I witnessed for 4 decades. People who felt perfect one minute, gone the next. A 44-year-old man collapsed mid-bench press. The bar came down on his chest. By the time we arrived, maybe 6 minutes, he was already blue. We worked on him. We always did. But I knew from his skin color, from his eyes, that he was gone before we got there. The gym had his file. 5 days a week, cardio and weights, trying to lose the last 10 pounds before his high school reunion. In better shape than most of my crew. His wife told me later he'd been tired for a few weeks. Just tired. He thought he was overtraining. He never connected tiredness with his heart, because healthy people don't have heart attacks. Everyone believes that everyone is wrong. The blockages that kill aren't always the big stable ones. The 70-80 blockages usually give warnings. You feel chest tightness climbing stairs. You get short of breath during exercise. Your body tells you something's wrong because blood flow is actually restricted enough to notice. But the blockages that kill without warning are different. Smaller, maybe 40-50 blocked. Not enough to restrict blood flow. Not enough to cause symptoms, but they're soft, like blisters filled with debris. covered by a thin layer of tissue. When that layer tears, when the blister pops, your body panics. It thinks there's a wound. Platelets rush to form a clot. Within minutes, that clot grows large enough to completely seal the artery. Total blockage. Instant. No warning. Blood stops. Heart muscle starts dying. If enough dies, the whole heart stops. That's what happened to the marathon runner. That's what happened to the gym guy. That's what happened to my brother Dale. Dale was my younger brother, 4 years behind me, the healthy one. I smoked for 15 years. I ate whatever was in front of me. I worked insane hours, never slept enough. Dale started running in the 70s before it was popular, went vegetarian in the 80s, meditated, did everything right. March 7, 1995. Dale was 58, freshly retired from teaching. He and his wife had trips. Booked Europe, Alaska, Japan. He was excited about the future for the first time in years. He came back from his morning run, sat down in his living room, and his heart stopped. His wife found him an hour later. She thought he was sleeping. He was still warm. The paramedics who responded were guys I knew. They told me there was nothing they could have done. He was gone before he hit the chair. I went to the hospital. Read the autopsy report. 90% blockage in the widowmaker. No symptoms, no warning, no history of heart problems. Perfect cholesterol, perfect blood pressure, perfect everything except. For the thing that actually mattered, after Dale died, I became obsessed. I read everything about heart disease, talked to cardiologists, researchers, tried to understand how a healthy person could have clogged arteries without feeling anything. What I learned: standard checkups are almost useless for predicting heart attacks. A stress test shows how your heart performs under load, not what's growing inside your artery walls. Blood work shows ingredients floating in your blood, not whether they're sticking to your arteries. A stethoscope hears rhythm problems, not blockages building. The only way to know if you have plaques is to look directly at your arteries. Until recently, that was expensive, invasive, and rarely recommended without symptoms. Now there are scans. Coronary calcium scan. 5 minutes. No needles, no dye. You lie down, hold your breath a few times, and a machine photographs your heart. It shows calcified plaque, the hard stuff building for years. Score of 0. No calcified plaque. Perfect. Score over 400. Ticking time bomb. CT angiogram. Shows not just hard plaque but soft plaque, the dangerous blisters that rupture without warning. This scan finds the killer before it kills. I got my first calcium scan at 73. Score 482. 41 years as a paramedic, and I had no idea I was walking around with a bomb in my chest. They did a CT angiogram, found significant soft plaque in 2 arteries. The cardiologist looked at me. If we hadn't found this, you probably had 2 years at most, maybe less if you got stressed or exerted yourself too hard. He put in 3 stents. I walked out 3 days later with clear arteries and a new appreciation for being alive. That was 16 years ago. I've been scanned every year since. They've found small things and addressed them before they became big things. I take my medications, watch my blood pressure, stay active, but don't push into the danger zone. I'm still here. Dale isn't. The marathon runner isn't. The gym guy isn't. Hundreds of people I tried to save aren't. The difference isn't that I'm healthier. The difference is that I got scanned and they didn't. Listen to me. If you're over 40, you need a coronary calcium scan. It's cheap, it's fast, it's the single most important thing you can do for your heart that almost nobody does. Your doctor might not suggest it. Suggest it yourself. Demand it if necessary. Score of 0. Relax for a few years. Score over 100. Start paying serious attention. Score over 400. You need intervention now. If your calcium score is concerning, push for the CT angiogram, find the soft plaque, find the blisters, find the killers before they kill. Hollywood shows men clutching their chests and falling over. That happens sometimes. But sometimes it's just fatigue, just nausea, just a weird feeling in your jaw or back, just a sense that something's wrong you can't explain. I once responded to a woman who thought she had food poisoning. Vomiting, stomach pain, felt terrible. Almost didn't call 911. Her daughter made her. I took one look, pale, sweating, something in her eyes I'd seen 100 times. Prep the cardiac kit, I told my partner. The daughter protested. It's just her stomach. No, it's not. Massive heart attack. We got her to the hospital in time. She survived. If she'd waited, if she'd slept it off, she would have died in her bed. Women present differently than men. Don't expect the Hollywood heart attack. Trust your gut. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Feeling healthy and being healthy are not the same thing. The people I watched die felt healthy right up until they didn't. They trusted their bodies to warn them. Their bodies didn't warn them. Their bodies adapted, compensated, hid the danger until it was too late. Don't trust how you feel. Trust what you can measure. Get the scans. Know your numbers. Find the problems before they find you. I'm 89 years old now. Retired for 26 years. I've outlived most of my colleagues, outlived my brother, outlived more people than I can count who looked healthier and should have lived longer, but didn't, because they trusted their feelings instead of getting tested. I think about that marathon runner sometimes, holding his hand while he died, his wife screaming that he was fine. One scan, just one scan. He probably would have lived another 30 years, seen his kids grow up, met his grandchildren, had decades more with his wife. Instead, he died on his kitchen floor at 51 because nobody looked inside his chest until it was too late. Don't be him. Don't be my brother. Don't be the gym guy. Don't be the woman who almost didn't call. Get scanned this month before you forget, before you convince yourself that feeling fine means being fine. I spent 41 years watching people die because they didn't know what was growing inside them. I don't want to watch you die too. The scans exist. The technology is there. The only thing stopping you from learning the truth about your heart is your own decision to get checked. Make the decision. Make it today. Your life might depend on it. I know mine did. Artifacts download our written script document MD.